Grace and peace to the members and friends of Davidson College Presbyterian Church. I am so thankful today to talk to you about our Opening Doors Capital Campaign. You may recall that in 2022, we launched that campaign. In May, we announced that we had exceeded our pledges, and since then, we have done the majority of the work in our sanctuary and in our chapel, with the windows to be completed this June. We have given $200,000 to Hope House in Huntersville, $200,000 to Habitat for Humanity in Charlotte, and another $175,000 this year to the Davidson Housing Coalition, all part of our ways that we are serving our neighbors who are in need of affordable housing. We have also, since May of 2022, put $600,000 into our campus ministry endowment. With all of that behind us, now is the time for the big renovations here at Davidson College Presbyterian Church. When our work is done in August of this year, we'll finally have a chapel and a columbarium that are truly accessible 24 hours a day, even to people with mobility issues. And that will be because of the new wheelchair ramp that we are installing on this side of our main building. When our work is done, we'll also have a patio and a new student center that are, like our chapel and columbarium, finally accessible 24 hours a day, even to people with mobility issues, because on this side of the building, we will also have a wheelchair ramp, as well as a patio that has been renovated to have a level surface for anyone walking upon it. Also a part of the work this summer is fixing decades-old drainage issues on this side of the building. Fixing those issues will enable us to create new preschool classrooms on the ground floor. And as long as we're digging up the ground and fixing the drainage problems out here, it feels like it's time to go ahead and install a new playground here on this side of the building. And of course, an important element of our renovation is to create a central gathering space so that worshipers and people coming to education classes can gather in between services, spend time with one another, time that isn't in a narrow or cramped hallway, but instead in an ample space, even where people can sit down and talk. So some walls are going to be taken out so that people can come out of worship and be together, even be able to come in a main door and see the doors of the sanctuary. We're going to take out offices and a workroom so that we can create the Marjorie and Lynn Burris gathering space that will be right next door to a library and a conference center where people can take classes and spend time together learning. All of this because of you and Opening Doors.
With all of that in mind, there are some important dates to know. On March 10th, all Sunday school classes will begin meeting in Davidson College buildings immediately next door to the church. Details from education leaders will be coming soon. On March 25th, all groups that normally meet in the main building will begin using the congregation house. Committee chairs and staff will be sharing Zoom links and alternate locations. But do know that March 25th, all groups will be out of the main building. And on April 1st, renovations begin. We will be able to use Lingle Chapel and the sanctuary during the renovation, but that is it. And then prayerfully, hopefully, if all goes well, we will be back in the building sometime in the middle to end of August.
I know it sounds like a lot, and in some ways it is, but I know we've got this. We were out of our building for the entirety of the COVID pandemic. We can do it for 4 months. We can do it because we have the fruit of the Spirit. In Galatians 5, among the gifts of the Spirit, we hear that we've received the gift of patience and of peace and of generosity and of joy. And so those will be available to us during this time. And I also know that with me, you remember that the church is not a building, it is a people. And we can meet online, we can meet in coffee shops, we can meet outside, we can meet in one another's homes. So let's embrace some of the opportunities that are going to be ours during the next 4 months. Now, if you are not a part of Opening Doors financially, maybe you weren't a member yet, and you'd like to support our efforts, you can go online or write a check to the church. You can help us restore a couple of the projects that we had to trim off the list. If you're someone who made a pledge and you haven't yet paid it off, if you are able to do that by the end of the second quarter, it will help minimize the bridge construction loan that will help us complete this work by the end of 2024. But regardless of whether you can make a gift, regardless of whether you can finish your payment by the second quarter, thank you. Thank you for supporting Opening Doors financially, emotionally, spiritually, with your time and with your talent. Together, we are opening doors. We're opening our hearts to one another and to our community. And so thank you for being a part of Opening Doors at Davidson College Presbyterian Church.